My name is Eric Donovan, and if anyone had told me 5 years ago that my life would spiral into chaos because of something as simple as a Wi-Fi app, I would have laughed in their face. I believed I was living the dream. I had a beautiful wife, a good career, a nice home, and a future that seemed bright. My wife, Amanda, and I had been married for 6 years and together for almost a decade. We had weathered storms together, or so I thought, and I was convinced nothing could come between us. It all began with a simple home upgrade, a faster internet connection, a new modem, an app that allowed me to monitor connected devices in the house. As someone who works in IT, I love tech gadgets, and this seemed like a harmless tool to optimize our home setup. I had no idea that this piece of technology would become the very thing that exposed the ugliest truth of my life. The first oddity came one evening while I was scrolling through the list of devices connected to our Wi-Fi. Among the usual suspects, my phone, Amanda's phone, our smart TV, laptops, there was an unfamiliar Android device. Amanda and I both use iPhones, and we didn't own any Android products. My first thought was that perhaps a neighbor was freeloading on our network. So I changed the Wi-Fi password and set up a more secure network. Problem solved, until it wasn't. A few days later, the Android device reappeared. I double-checked every device in our house, ensuring there wasn't some forgotten tablet lying around. There wasn't. The mystery device was back. It seemed to appear and disappear at certain times of the day. Out of curiosity, I started paying closer attention to the network activity. One day, while I was working from home, I noticed something strange. The Android device vanished from the Wi-Fi as soon as Amanda left for work and reappeared when she returned home. My stomach churned with unease, but I told myself not to jump to conclusions. Maybe it belonged to a co-worker or a friend. But Amanda had never mentioned anyone coming over. As days turned into weeks, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. My wife had started working late more often, claimed she had started a new gym routine, and her phone seemed glued to her hand more than ever. There were more girls' nights out, spontaneous business trips, and unexplained charges on our joint account. I decided it was time to dig deeper. I searched through her car one night after she had gone to sleep, checked the glove box, under the seats, even the trunk. Nothing. The next day, I rummaged through her purse while she was in the shower. Still nothing. I was almost ready to convince myself I was being paranoid when I finally struck gold. One random Wednesday night, I searched Amanda's briefcase. Tucked away in a side compartment, hidden behind some paperwork, was a cheap Android phone, a burner phone. My hands shook as I pulled it out. This was real. My instincts had been screaming at me for weeks, and now I had proof that something was very wrong. I didn't know the password. I tried her usual pins and patterns. No luck. I considered confronting her immediately, but something told me to be smart about it. I carefully placed the phone back, exactly where I found it, and planned my next move. The following day, I visited a local tech repair shop. I explained my situation to the technician, a young guy who seemed more amused than shocked. "Look, man, I just need to know the truth. My wife's hiding something from me." I admitted. He nodded and agreed to help. An hour later, he handed me a USB drive. "Everything on the phone is copied here," he said. I paid him, thanked him, and went home, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest. I waited until Amanda left for her supposed late-night gym session before I opened the files. My palms were sweaty, my breathing shallow. I sat down in front of my laptop and opened the drive. My world collapsed in minutes. There were hundreds of text messages, voice notes, photos, and videos. Amanda wasn't just having an affair. She was leading a double life. There were two men, one named Greg, a married man from her workplace, and another named Kevin, a single bartender from a restaurant downtown. The messages were filthy explicit and filled with plans of their secret meetups. There were photos Amanda had taken of herself in places that were supposed to be special to us. Our bed, our kitchen, our backyard patio where we had countless evening dinners. 9 months. This had been going on for 9 months. I remember sitting there for hours, staring at the screen, feeling like my chest would explode. My hands were clammy, my lips dry, and my mind blank. I went through phases: shock, anger, devastation, then clarity. By the time Amanda returned home, I had made up my mind. I wasn't going to confront her yet. I wasn't going to give her any opportunity to manipulate me or twist the truth. I was going to gather everything I could, protect myself, and burn her web of lies to the ground. The next day, I met with a divorce attorney, Mr. Hammond. I showed him files, and he immediately advised me to start separating our finances and securing my assets. We initiated divorce proceedings, drafted paperwork, and froze our joint credit cards. I created backups of all the evidence on multiple devices and made detailed notes of all suspicious behavior I had noticed over the past few months. But I wasn't done. I found out Greg, one of Amanda's affair partners, was married to a woman named Lauren. I reached out to her, met with her privately, and shared everything. Her reaction was heartbreaking: anger, grief, disbelief, but also gratitude. She hugged me and thanked me for being honest. She had suspected something, but never had the proof. Now she did. Amanda remained blissfully unaware of the storm gathering around her. She continued her charade, pretending to be the loving wife. She even had the audacity to try initiating intimacy, but I was detached, cold, and distant. I waited for the perfect moment. That Saturday night, Amanda came home late, claiming her work trip had gone longer than expected. I asked her to sit down. I walked into the kitchen, retrieved the burner phone from her briefcase, and placed it on the table in front of her. She turned white as a sheet. "What's this?" I asked calmly. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. "Eric, I can explain." "Please do." She stuttered, stumbled, and lied through her teeth, claimed it was for work emergencies, that it belonged to the office, that it was nothing serious. I let her dig her hole deeper before sliding my laptop in front of her and opening the folder marked Amanda's Secret Life. Photos, screenshots, messages, audio files. She stopped breathing for a second. Her tears came quickly. Her apologies followed, and her excuses poured out like a broken faucet. She begged, pleaded, swore it was a mistake, a temporary lapse in judgment. I laughed bitterly. Which mistake, Amanda, Greg, or Kevin? The hotel rendezvous or the quick car hookups after your fake gym sessions? She crumbled before me, confessed to everything, and asked for forgiveness, claimed it was meaningless, blamed her stress, blamed her childhood, blamed everything except herself. She swore it didn't mean she didn't love me. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I simply said, "I've already filed for divorce. You're going to stay with your sister, Jessica, starting tonight." Amanda screamed, cursed, begged, and cried as she packed her bags. I didn't flinch. After she left, I felt an odd sense of peace. I was finally done living in the dark. Over the next few weeks, Amanda tried every tactic in the book. She sent me long texts about working on our marriage, suggested couples therapy, and even offered to have an open marriage where we could heal together. The desperation was laughable. I ignored every attempt and stayed focused on protecting my interests. I met with Lauren again. She was already filing for divorce from Greg and thanked me for being the catalyst. Meanwhile, I learned Kevin had been fired from his bartender job after rumors of his affair with a married woman spread like wildfire. I hadn't even lifted a finger. Karma took care of that for me. Amanda's world collapsed piece by piece. Her friends found out. Her family found out. Her sister Jessica was furious. Her parents disappointed. Her co-workers embarrassed. I attended every divorce meeting with my head held high, documented every interaction, and exposed every lie. In court, Amanda tried to play the victim, claiming I was cold and distant. I calmly presented my evidence, hundreds of pages worth of her infidelity. The judge ruled in my favor, granting me the house, the car, and the majority of our joint assets. The day the divorce was finalized felt like an exorcism. I wasn't just divorcing Amanda. I was shedding years of manipulation, betrayal, and deceit. Months later, my life transformed. I renovated the house, traveled to places I had always wanted to see, and reconnected with old friends. I focused on my career, advanced further than I ever had before, and even started casually dating again. Amanda, from what I heard through mutual friends, struggled. She lost her job after her reputation caught up to her, moved into a small apartment, and cycled through meaningless relationships. Kevin left town. Greg's ex-wife cleaned him out in court, and the lies Amanda had built her life around came crashing down on her head. I never look back. Every time I sit on my patio, sipping coffee as the sun rises, I remember the Eric I used to be, naive, trusting, blind. That man died the day I found that Android phone. What was born in his place was a man who knew his worth, refused to be disrespected, and learned the hard way that sometimes the people you love the most are the ones who hurt you the deepest. But survival isn't just about getting through the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain after it's passed. And I dance every damn day.